Once you have started planning your database, you will need to decide how you will define your database tables, which are the most basic organizational element of a database. It's important to plan the tables so that they hold the type of data that you need. Some databases might only have one table, but most will have more than one table. And the tables that are included in a database will be based on the data available. So our database of students might have a table for contact information, a table for grades, and so on. In Access, you can create a relational database, which stores information in separate tables, and then those tables are connected or linked by a defined relationship that ties the data together. If you look at the student data database that we have been using so far in this lesson, and then click on the Database Tools tab, there is a Relationships group where you can view the relationship between tables. So you can see that there is a relationship perhaps between the student's ID field and the guardian's student field. When designing your database, you only want to record each piece of information once. Having information there more than once creates duplicate or redundant data, and that wastes space and increases the likelihood of errors. Relationships among tables help ensure consistency and they reduce repetitive data entry. So when you create your tables, think about how the data in the tables might be related to each other. You can always enter test data and then add fields as you think of them or as you need them, or even create new tables as necessary. After creating your tables, you will apply data normalization rules to see if your tables are structured correctly. And that's just the process of applying rules to your design to make sure you've divided your information items into the appropriate tables. Database design principles include standards and guidelines that can be used to determine if your database is structured correctly, and those are referred to as normal forms. The three that we usually will apply are the ones that are required. And we'll talk about a short summary of those. The first one being the first normal form, which divides each field according to its smallest meaningful value. It removes repeating groups of data and creates a separate table for each set of related data. The second normal form means that each non-key column should be fully dependent on the entire primary key, and new tables are created for data that applies to more than one record in a table. Third normal form is the form that is used to remove fields that do not relate to or provide a fact about the primary key. Before you normalize a database and define fields for the efficient storage of your data, it's important to know where your data will come from. And data can be brought into Access in several different ways, including linking and importing. When you import data, Access is going to create a copy of the data or objects in the destination database, and the source of that data will not be altered. Linking lets you connect to data from another source without importing it, so you can view and modify the latest data in both the source and destination databases, without having to maintain two copies of the same data. Any changes you make in the source are reflected in the linked, and vice versa when you link data instead of import it.